Oh, this is Margaret Ann Windsor, Peggy Ann Childers, the name that was given to me when I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace. Her father, my uncle George VI, and the Kennedys, Joseph Kennedy, ambassador to Great Britain, and Roosevelt, President Roosevelt, and the New World Order. They took out my dad, the real King Edward VIII. They kidnapped me in 41. This is the double that was used to marry Simpson. Now, I've focused on the last years here in Roanoke since October of '86, and they've used. I'm chemical sensitive, and they've used it to just torture me. Makes my immune system attack itself. I want to mention Terry Sawyer here because he was so instrumental in getting me into the Edinburgh Village retirement where they gassed me. And I had to break a lease, so it looks bad for me. I paid my rent, but they made it so you can't tell it. Everywhere I've gone, they'd come in and gas me. The air conditioning unit goes out, or so it's used as a murder weapon. And then try telling it when law enforcement gets things on every people, and they comply with it. Everybody's got something to hide. They're not going to be prosecuted. Why worry? So it's been get me. Joseph's Way, Joseph's Stream in Bedford was an example. A brand new unit owned by black minister out of Washington, North Carolina. You should see what they did to me there, and I had to break the lease. Navy SEAL even came in there, retired, and they did a bulletin on him about how good he was and all this. They're glad to have him while they're gassing me to death. So this has been wherever I've gone, and you really can't tell it because people don't want to hear it. The point is, Terry, who was a part of getting me in these places, I realized that he and law enforcement, and I've been told this, tell people lies. They leave out the part about me being gassed, and they'll make it look like they got me a place, and I just break leases and all this. Kind of like the Jean Seberg, when she was murdered by mind control is what it was, in November of 79. And you can, if anybody cares to, they can go back and Google her and see what was done to her. They harassed her, they tortured her, they lied about her, and she finally committed suicide. Well, I'm still standing. I don't know for how long, but I've resorted to go to the National Forest to get away and try to breathe, and I guess I'll do that again, and they'll lock me up there. My point is, I'm using Terry Sawyer as an example because Terry took me to these places, and I got in, and I was gassed, and to live, I left. It's deteriorated my health. I want to say this. Terry has always had a nice place to live. Where I'm at now, at the Airport Quality Inn, where you should see what is being done here, you wouldn't believe it. The world wouldn't. While they're after Assad, they should put the cameras over here and show what's happening. But Terry, back some years ago, example, he had a nice cabin over here next to the Appalachian Trail, the forestry. Nice place to breathe, and next door to it was a small cabin. All I'm asking at that time is to be able to breathe and live. Well, he broke the lease there. And if anybody cared about me, they'd say, well, hey, you say you're trying to help this lady. Why don't you let her rent this when you break your lease? So it's okay for him to break a lease. I break a lease because they're gassing me and torturing me, and something's wrong with me again. So Terry has bounced around. He's broken leases all over the place. Right now he lives up on Roanoke Mountain next to the Appalachian Trail, next to the forestry. He's got a spread that he's rented. Beautiful. Um, so all these places he's been that are so nice that he's given up, you'd think if he cared about me, he'd say, hey, why don't you sublease it, or I'm leaving, why don't you lease this? It'd be perfect. The whole thing is they have tortured me. They have lied about me. Um, I don't know all the laws that have been broken. But if you take right here, um, where I'm at now, I don't know who really owns this. Supposedly, AAZ Roanoke. It's supposed to be a holding company out of Germany, but there's a consulting firm out of Falls Church, so I would question who really runs the place that controls it. But the owner here, I mean, not the owner, I'm talking about the woman that runs it. The whole staff had a meeting on how to get rid of me. Now then, they could just raise the rent. But instead, everywhere I've gone, I've been gassed and made to leave, except one place they raised the rent on me at Affordable Corporate Suites after I'd stayed there 17 months. What it's done to my body and the lies and the misinformation, and people have been more than willing to get involved and do it. So if you just hear this, and I'm showing you the King of England, and this sweet little thing right here, and Larry Flint, people would say, oh, well, that's Larry Flint. So, can't be too good, right? Here's JFK. His dad helped kidnap me. Brought me here, and I've been tortured all my life. So right now, if I have to be a maintenance guy, because that's who they get to do it, maintenance, come in and your plumber, or they get your person, if you're allergic to chemicals, to come in and spray for bugs and all that, and use really heavy stuff. So, and then you can get your maids if you, it looks like you're living a good life, you're in or halfway decent, so why am I complaining? You can get the maids to come in to soak the linen while you're out. There's no need putting a lock on the door. And I'll go ahead and say this because that made me look like everything but who I really am. When I camped out and managed to get together money for a tent, to keep from freezing, to have a place to be, and a sleeping bag, they would come out there, and I'm going to tell you this. This is law enforcement. Robert, I'm going to mention Robert while I'm at it. Hey, fella, I'm dying anyway, all right? He's with the, he was in federal court. So as far as I know, he's a U.S. Marshal, all right? All I've ever known is his name, Robert. He was up on the Appalachian Trail, helping me pull suitcases, which is crazy in itself, pulling suitcases up and down the Appalachian Trail. But anyway, he told people that he actually bought tents for me. He never bought a damn thing for me. In fact, they soaked my tents. They told the Appalachian Trail Club, and can you see where I'm going? They've made me run like hell, dying every step of the way. And can I put this on tape? And it'd be used against me rather than people saying, hey, this is really happening to this lady. If they can do it to her, they can do it to us. Point is, I've been deliberately kept homeless, made to look like a fool, like anything but sane. And I am sitting here, and I'm being forced to leave. They are making it so I can't live. Right now, the last few days I've been passed out. I couldn't get up and off the bed hardly, just knocked out because of the freeze zone that comes from, well, however they do it. They use the air conditioning unit and the little refrigerator I found is what's causing me so much trouble the last few days. The stuff that makes it freeze is all over the place. It's got my ears and everything closed up to where I just pass out. And, people just want me gone. I wonder, because I'm going to have to leave to live, why don't they raise the rent? I wonder what they're going to do if I leave, and I will. I wonder who really owns the place. And I wonder if the law ever works, because the law is the one that's sanctioned this to let them get away with it. And start locking people up here, because you know what? You could follow my tracks, and every damn one of them would need to be locked up for conspiracy, assault and battery, you name the charges, if it were done to anybody else. And I've said this before, there's nobody but God could come in and prosecute this one.